In this video, you're going to learn everything there is to know about progressive overload and how to properly apply it to your fitness journey. To start, I'm going to give you an example of how progressive overload works. Let's say your dream is to hit your first 135 pound max bench. That's one 45 pound plate on each side. Right now, your max is 115 pounds. In your workouts, you're doing 5 working sets of 5 reps at 100 pounds. If you want that 135 bench, you got to apply progressive overload, the secret sauce to getting stronger. Here's the move. Ask yourself, do these 5 reps feel too easy? If yes, it's time to level up. Option 1 is to keep the same weight but push for 6 or 7 reps per set. Option 2, bump the weight up from 100 to 105 pounds. Yeah, you might only get 3 to 4 reps per set now, but that's fine. You're training your body to handle more load. Once 105 for 6 or 7 reps feels too easy, go up again to 110 pounds. Rinse and repeat until you smash your 135 pound goal. It's that simple. Small, steady increases over time. Progressive overload turns someday into done. Also, in addition to adding more weight, there are other ways to progressively overload. Increasing the range of motion, decreasing rest times, slower tempo on your lifts, and a higher training frequency or hitting the muscle more than once a week are also forms of progressive overload. Now that you have an understanding of what progressive overload is, let's discuss why it's so important. If you're a beginner in the gym, applying progressive overload is not at first very necessary. At the beginner level, you can effectively build muscle even without progressively overloading. However, once the newbie gains phase goes away, building more and more muscle and getting stronger becomes much harder if you weren't already progressively overloading. If you weren't applying progressive overload, you may end up hitting your first plateau where you're not putting any more muscle or strength on. The key word in progressive overload is progress. If you're not applying it, you're not going to see any results. To ensure that you are applying progressive overload, be sure to track your lifts and gym sessions. Try writing everything down, which includes every lift, how much weight you're lifting, how many sets you do, and how many reps you do per set. Doing this consistently will ensure that you are actually making progress in the gym. With all that said, is there such a thing as overdoing progressive overload? Absolutely. Progressive overload is all about small, gradual increases, not trying to hit a new PR every day in the gym. If you try to rapidly progressive overload, you may actually start seeing negative progress from burnout to injuries. Common examples of overdoing progressive overload are increasing weight too fast, not recovering properly, and lifting too heavy with improper form. Trying to lift heavy weights may look impressive even with improper form, but for your body's sake, it's best to drop your ego and focus on real, tangible results, not trying to impress the girl that you're never going to talk to. Overdoing progressive overload can lead to joint or tendon injury, which is going to stall your progress for even longer in the gym for simply not training wisely. Something every gym goer should also account for is something called volume. Simply put, volume is sets times reps times weight. For our example from earlier, bench pressing for 5 sets, 5 reps per set, and 105 pounds would equal 2,625 pounds of volume. Too much volume overloads your muscles, joints, and nervous system faster than your body can recover, leading to stalled progress or injury. Instead of growing, you end up fatigued, sore, and weaker because your body never gets the chance to fully recover. Another helpful tip to avoid injury or burnout is to take a light week every so often. Try progressively overloading for 4 to 8 weeks and then deload or lift with less intensity for 1 week. This will give your body plenty of time to fully recover and be primed and ready to go for the next overload phase. To recap, progressive overload is the gradual increase of stress placed on your muscles over time so that they can get stronger and grow. You can do this by adding weight, reps, sets, or making the exercise harder in some way. If you find yourself unable to get stronger or grow any more muscle, it's because you're not progressively overloading. Avoid injuries by lifting weight that is not too difficult, maintaining proper form and proper recovery. Avoid burnout by going on a deload phase, where you lift with less intensity for 1 week after 4 to 8 weeks of an overload phase. If you like this sort of content, be sure to leave a like, and if you really enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe as well. If you know somebody who can really benefit from this video, be sure to share it by hitting the share button and copying the link. And that's all for today, everybody.